So we all know the iPad is a device with a ton of potential, and here we have the ultimate setup so you can get the most out of it. All right, come with me. Let's talk about the setup. Everything here basically accentuates all of the iPad's capabilities, but of course we have the iPad in the center of everything here, even our keyboard. We'll get to that in a second. But this is the M4 13-inch iPad Pro. Now with this iPad having the M4 chip, it almost feels like a waste not to do more with it than just use it as a tablet. So we've got a couple of cool things going on over here. Now I'm not gonna go too crazy into the iPad. We all know what it does, we all know what it's about. But first, let's talk about the things actually on the iPad. Obviously, we have an Apple Pencil Pro. I did a few upgrades to mine. We'll talk about that later. But on the screen, we have a screen protector from Paperlike. Now, Paperlike was cool enough to sponsor today's video. And they sent over the screen protector, not my first time using them, and it is awesome. Just like the name implies, it makes the tablet feel Paperlike. How are you so slow with that, bro? But that is what this thing is all about. If you're an artist or someone who cares about jotting down notes and the pen experience is important for you, this is a different experience for sure. Paperlike uses a nano dot technology that gives it that feel of writing on actual paper. And you guys can probably hear it yourself. Check this out. Oh, there's no way you don't hear that. It doesn't just sound like writing on paper, but it feels like it. So if you're an artist, a note taker, someone who likes to journal, but you're doing all of that digitally now, but you kind of miss the old days of using a pen and paper, this will do it for you. Now the Paperlike feel is obviously the big thing here, but it also changes the screen to an anti-glare screen, so if you're working in a sunny environment or somewhere really bright, that's a nice bonus. Now I'm older than I may look, so I kind of like the feel of writing on paper, especially when it comes to writing on the iPad, so I'm all for it. If you guys want to check it out, I'll have links down below in the description. Now I actually bought some things from Paperlike myself to add to this setup because I personally thought they were really cool. You might see it on this Apple Pencil over here. I actually have their pen grip and I actually changed the tips as well. So with this tip and the grip, if you're an artist, Oscar's an artist and he's been using it.
It's very satisfying drawing with that thing. Like, I thought the screen protector was enough, but once you add the pen grip and the tip, it feels really nice.
I'm an artist also.
You're an artist also? But Gene, you didn't use it.
Yeah.
You just wanted us to know. Gene's the artist behind the edit. There you go, Gene. I got you. But yeah, I bought these on my own like, I don't know, a year or two ago, and I absolutely love this. I won't use an Apple Pencil without it. So from one artist to another, Oscar signs off. So these are the more standard upgrades to the regular iPad experience, but then there's all of this, right? Let's talk about what we got the iPad on right now. So I got this dock off of Amazon. I don't even know the brand name, but it's a really solid dock. Of course, it gives you that stand so that you can adjust. You can bring the height up. You can tilt it however you like. You can even turn with a very satisfying click. And you can even change how loose you want that turn to be. So lots of nice fine tuning you can do with this. And it also has a bunch of USB ports. You're gonna want something that acts as the bridge between all of your devices, and this is great for it. Now, I also have this connected to Apple's XDR display, which is a great companion for it because they can communicate. You can change settings of the monitor right from the iPad. So they work well together. You don't need like the XDR display. If you want something from Apple, the Studio display is going to give you a lot of the same features. But if you're doing like pro workflows, it might be nice to have this, but honestly, if you're doing pro workflows, probably not using an iPad at the center. I'll have some links to some inexpensive but color accurate monitors that would work well with this for creators. It's also kind of nice that this has extra USB-C ports in the back, so you can connect even more devices to it. The Studio display has a built-in webcam, which is nice. This does not, but up top, we have our own webcam. I'm gonna open up FaceTime, and you guys can see this thing comes alive. So the webcam that we've got up here is the Insta360 Link 2. It has awesome quality, a bunch of AI features. It can track you depending on where you're going, and it has some pretty dope built-in AI features. If you guys want the full-blown video of that, I'll have it linked down below. Price is actually really good on this for what it does. If you are someone someone who works from home, you need to have one of these. Now I went with something interesting when it comes to the keyboard. So I went with this knock-free split keyboard, and here's my thinking, y'all. You've got your iPad, you wanna be able to access it, you don't want it off to the side and you're reaching and typing and reaching. With this, it's right here in the center, still very accessible. So if I wanted to go ahead and type something up, interact with the screen, it's not a big deal. For me, it just kind of makes sense. Touch is obviously a big deal when it comes to the iPad, so you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose the ability to touch easily or type easily. Now, I will say, typing like this is different, y'all. I'm a very good typist, but this does mess with your muscle memory quite a bit. I'm usually in the 80s, so you know, it takes some getting used to. I'm like, my arms are like this, y'all, so don't judge me. Now, here's what's nice. If I don't feel like having the whole separated keyboard experience, I can just put them together and just type like I'm using a normal keyboard. I also didn't mention this earlier, but a small detail that's gonna be important is a USB cable, a USB-C cable that has this L shape. So it's a right angle. That way it's not protruding out, getting in the way of you having to reach anything. This makes it really, really clean. Now, we've got all of this on top of this Journey desk mat. You guys might have seen me talk about this a few times in previous videos, but this desk mat, I love it. Not only is it really cool and it has like this felt area underneath if you want to store some like papers or something important. You can do that here or even switch sides to whatever you like the most. But on this side over here, it's actually a charging mat. So you have an area to charge AirPods. So obviously with an iPad, AirPods work well with it. It also has MagSafe, so you can just charge your iPhone when you're not using it, and then you can just go on your iPad. It's an awesome setup. Definitely one of my favorite mats because of how versatile it is. One thing I will say though, I wish they had a bigger option because as it is right now, my mouse kind of just sits on the side. Obviously, I would like it to be on something like this, but this is fine. Sometimes you just gotta sacrifice. It works really well no matter what surface it's on, and this is actually the MX Anywhere 3S, so you know, it can work anywhere. I like this because it's super compact. And over here, sneakily, we have this interesting glove that Paperlike has, which is cool for artists because when you throw this on, it's a glove that only works with like 2 fingers, so it looks a little weird at first, but the magic behind it is the fact that when you're drawing, you don't have to worry about your palm registering accidental touches. So you can go ahead and jump into like Photoshop, do whatever drawing you have to do, and you can do it with confidence. But speaking of, our speakers over here are from Cantu. We've been using these for a minute. These are the U2s, and they work perfectly with the whole look of this setup, a black and walnut theme here. But I love these speakers. They sound great. Only thing I would probably add is a sub at some point, but on their own, it sounds awesome for the iPad. And if you want that personal audio, like I said, you can have AirPods right on the Journey mat, and you can even, you know, have a pair of AirPods Max if you're trying to go all in, or, you know, whatever headphones you want. Doesn't have to be AirPods Max. But obviously I like having Apple earbuds or headphones because the synergy between all of the devices, you can even grab this and use it with your iPhone. It's just all cohesive. And while it's cool that the headphone stand matches the aesthetic of the desk setup we've got going on here, what's nice is that it also functions as a wireless charging pad. So if you want to charge something else wirelessly, you can have that there. You might not have a Journey mat to do the wireless charging. I personally love when devices serve more than one function. And while that's all audio for output, we have some input audio over here with our mic. This right here is the HyperX Quadcast S. I like this mic because it sounds great. You can customize the look with RGBs, all that good stuff. In the back, you've got your different modes. So depending on how much audio you're trying to capture, whether you want it to be directional or omnidirectional, you can change that all with the twist of a knob. I also like the stand that it's on. So it has like that anti-shock, so if you're moving your mic around, you don't have to worry too much about those vibrations. Also, right there, you can just tap to mute. So you always know the mic is hot if you see the lights are on. That way you're not making any mistakes while you're on your Zoom call or, you know, somebody's on and listening. Always make sure you tap that. So nice and easy, and you can control the volume down here at the bottom. Very inexpensive mic for what it can do and how it sounds. And obviously I have this and everything else mentioned linked down below. And of course, I had to throw in a little Xbox controller. So if you want to go ahead and do some gaming, the iPad is an extremely capable gaming device, just kind of needs the games to go with it. But if you know you're an avid Apple Arcade user, you know that that's a must. And last but not least, we've got the desk from Artifox. This is one of my favorite desks of all time. It is an amazing desk. The walnut look, the built-in cable management. This is just a very well thought out desk. and it's really high quality. Even down to the legs having a built-in headphone holder. Little touches like that I think are really nice. Between little things like this and the cable management, I love this desk so much. And I even have some like organizational accessories here, so if you want to make sure your cables are locked in, you can always pick those up too. They're very inexpensive. And this desk shelf I love because I can just grab this guy over here. So if I just want to leave everything else behind but still have access to a trackpad and a keyboard, I'll just throw this on top of it and I'm good to go. Not to mention, I almost forgot this. Storage. Come on, y'all. Over here, I have this Corsair SSD with MagSafe. It's a 2 terabyte SSD and it's the Corsair X400U. Pretty new, and we've been liking it here in terms of like editing off of it. What's cool is if you're using this with like an iPhone, it's just nice being able to take the content that you capture with these devices and put them straight into editing software, edit right off of it. So it makes it really easy and seamless. What's nice is that it's also MagSafe. As you can see, we have it attached to the iPad over here. We don't have MagSafe built into the iPad, so we're using these accessories from Rolling Square. It functions the same way MagSafe works on the back of an iPhone, but for the iPad. This was typically used to have your iPad attached to like a MacBook Pro or something, but it's also useful in this case too. So SSD, definitely a must. Also, for the folks who might be interested in the widgets that I have over here on my screen, this is from a widget called Widgie, but it's actually a really cool app. Definitely recommend. There are a ton of templates that you can go in and add to your screen, and you can even do some crazy customization to it as well. It's pretty deep. If you guys want to see like a full-blown video of like making an awesome setup, let me know with a comment down below. The iPad, like I said, is a beast of a device. Just gotta get the right things to really make the most out of it. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.